What'd you do?
Darn you!
You messed up?
I think so. Oh, hello. Oh, maybe not. Oh no, I think I made it by like a millimeter. Oh my god, it makes your eyes cross. Okay, so the only one that I still need to get straight is this one. Come on, have a seat. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Here.
Over there. You have to play a hedge.
This is not gonna be even. Hi.
Is Megan here too?
She is.
I'm so sorry, I dropped it as soon as I got out of the car. Because the wind. Literally, I had it both with me.
Why are you apologizing? I don't even know why you brought it.
I don't even know what it is, so you're
Same
10
box.
steps ahead of us.
And then I was like so nervous, and it like flew out of my hand.
Why are you so nervous?
Oh, here you
Oh
go.
my gosh, thank
Maybe.
you.
Little going away gift. So you guys,
Thank you so
remember me.
much. Oh my god, how cute are these?
I handpicked them
Yeah,
for every single
thank
supervisor.
you.
Well, not everyone, but.
This
Oh
is
my
so
goodness.
funny, and you'll know why later.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Thank you,
Oh,
Danny.
thank you so much.
Megan.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
girl.
Yeah, thank you.
you.
Oh, that's
find
so
Megan.
nice.
But I'll be
I'm
right back.
air hugging you.
Thank you, Danny.
We'll see you tomorrow, though, girl.
Yeah, I
me
know,
too.
but I'm like, I wanted to come, see if Megan was here. Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's here. She's here.
I know, that's
What are we
what.
doing?
Might as well fucking today.
We're.
Go talk to your
This
girl.
is a
I'll have all
cricket
the
machine. Have you ever seen one? You know what a cricket machine is?
No.
It cuts iron-on. So this is iron-on vinyl, and it cuts like permanent vinyl. We put like on glass and cups and stuff like that. So we're making all the supervisors like a thank you T-shirt. It says established on and then retired on.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is it so warm?
It's the heater because if you turn it off, it turns into 40 degrees. And then if you turn it on, it turns to 85 degrees. So we wait till it gets about 80 and then we turn it off. I know. It's not just you, it's really hot in here. When you turn it off, it's right there. Just hit system until it goes to off. Is it on off now?
I don't think so.
Just hit system again and you'll see it on the right hand side.
Then I went to heat. Now it's off. Okay.
So what are your plans after here? Like, what are you going to do next?
Just stuff that I have to get done.
Life? Just take a break?
Yeah. Do you mind if we do this privately?
Actually, Cindy's she's salary manager now. She's HR. She's taking over for me. So I'll have her sit in. But you can go ahead and close the door. So Cindy is now HR generalist. So she's taking over for me as I transition into my new role. So she's going to be overseeing this building. And then she got promoted and she's going to be HR in Georgia.
What? In Georgia.
The Georgia building?
Okay. So, where are you going?
I'm going to be working remotely. So I'm still going to be supporting ThreadUp. I'm just going to be supporting all the DCs.
Okay. Yeah, so what I wanted to show you is just what I've been picking up on the road.
Okay.
And I'm looking for another opinion
Okay.
about what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of hazards.
Okay.
And I want to know if you happen to. Because I know that what I'm seeing here isn't normal.
Okay, let's take a look and see. Is that a fire tab or is that a life tab?
It's a fire tablet. It was a gift.
Thing, that's nice. So what viewpoint are you? Is this like a dash cam?
Yeah.
And does the dash cam pick up the road or does it pick up inside the car? Or does it pick up both? I've never seen
It picks. It's set on the inside
Okay,
of the car,
okay,
but it can pick up sounds on the outside too.
okay.
So
That's pretty cool.
I don't know how well you'll be able to see
Okay,
what's on here,
okay.
but if you spot it, then just tell me.
Oh, sorry, I took the button. That's just volume, I think. There's something outside. Okay, I will touch it. Oh.
It's a series of clips.
I'm just looking through all the clips to see what I'm seeing. To see if I see something out of the ordinary.
Well, I want you to see if
I thought something up with you. The way that it's like, it's
you notice these shapes. Some of the clips might be hard to discern
okay.
because of the perspective of the camera
That and I think I'm adjusting
and
to
the
see the
light,
camera like this.
and the light too.
I'm not kind of hearing the guy in front of you.
Hearing?
It looks like you're like, I don't know, like that's what you're right.
And most of these are from one day. Back in September.
I'm not seeing anything.
Back there in that parking lot, see the car light sticking to it.
Okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing.
Keep looking.
Okay.
And
Let me look at some lights. Okay, just do like this. That's much better. That was dangerous. That I saw.
that's the third time.
With that car or just
In the same day.
when somebody was pulling out?
Yes, seconds away from an oncoming car.
That guy's all over the road. Oh. That person's either drunk or they're texting or. Oh, I'm getting dizzy.
There's a purple.
Okay.
They could have been hit.
That one's like a southern.
And once again, there's no zoom option with these tablets. Not that I know of.
So what specifically are you looking to do with with this data or this information?
I have to take it to the cops, I believe, but it's. Did you see the first two clips?
Of course, pulling out.
There's in the busy intersection.
Yeah.
You may have missed it.
I noticed the cars that are towards left are coming out, but this is a fairly busy road, and it's a 4-lane road, and to try to get out at any point, that's going to be risky.
I never see people take risks like that.
Depends on the driver and who's in the car, but like I've got like a couple streets down from me is a fairly busy road. It's a 4-lane road, and people have died on that road, and because people are constantly trying to make a left turn or try to go straight, and they get killed.
Yeah, but I've known this area for years,
Okay.
and this is not what I've seen as a driver or a passenger.
Okay. So what are you thinking?
I don't know.
And it's back in.
I don't. Yeah, and I have plenty more footage.
But if you were to go to
Somewhere.
something like this, there's nothing that they would really be able to do because there's no license plates involved of the people who are turning left or right. And they won't use personal video recordings unless it's like a police officer that's catching it. What you can use it for is if you notice it happening on a certain intersection, is you can use it to try to go to the police and say like this particular intersection it needs more patrolling.
Right.
And like, I mean, you're coming from a good place because you don't want anyone to get hurt.
You see in some of the clips how there's weaving. I still catch that on a daily basis, and I don't think it's that with every capture someone testing or drunk.
What do you think he was?
I don't know, but it's become a pattern. Do you see this when you're on the road?
Yes, I've called the police on it. It's gotten so bad. I've called the police before because I think people are actually drunk.
See how they're trying to onto the.
Yeah, but it's a slip road also, and I don't want to make a sharp turn to go straight.
So
It's not too slick.
it's something.
That I see every single day is somebody weaving, and I've caught myself doing it also when the road is someone that I'm not familiar with. But it's typically a distracted driver. I mean, I've seen people run red lights right in front of me because they were on their phone. So you,
Thinking
This
of
is
the
not
bigger-
something.
do you think there's something bigger behind it versus the distracted driving?
I don't know what that would be.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like a big?
But that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering where it's coming from and what your thought process is behind it. Behind why somebody, like the only things that come to my mind is distracted driving, kids in the car screaming and yelling, or texting.
I don't see people as I don't think many people are bad drivers.
I significantly disagree with you on that one. I think people are horrible drivers.
Yeah, but the people here, they are not even trying. So I don't. There was another video that I couldn't transfer to. I couldn't
So
transfer.
question. So why are you looking at the data back in September of 2020?
I just found it interesting. Like what went on that one day.
How come you're looking back 6 months ago at car footage? What's causing you to do that?
Nothing really. I look back at the footage sometimes,
Okay.
and well, so there's another video that I couldn't transfer onto this tablet. It was the only video that I couldn't log onto here.
Okay.
But yeah, this is right outside 2 streets.
What town do you live in? Oh, okay.
And mind you, it gets grainy in halfway through
Okay.
because I didn't reformat the SD drive. So. It's You saw that, right?
That weave?
Like they were avoiding something?
They weren't avoiding anything.
Okay.
It was,
Green.
so I couldn't really tell. Like to me, like I would think that there was something.
Was it green? That's okay. Is that a
Huh? In front of you, did you see that? Okay. Oh,
It's the same
It's the
police.
same.
car that you just turned behind. Okay. Oh, it's the same police car. I see that.
It's not expected cop.
Yeah, but a cop also has that computer sitting right next to them, and that's what they're doing. Is when they're running a license plate for the person in front of them, they're looking down and typing that in and then looking back up again. That's all right next to them. They don't wait until they pull you over to run your license plate. They're trying to figure out if you're a legit driver. And that's why they're pulling up your license plate.
Wait, tell me again.
So when a cop is driving, they have a computer sitting right next to them, like an actual laptop. And that's how they're running license plates. So when they're driving and they see like your plate and they want to run your plate before they pull you over, they're typing it into here and then looking it up and then looking back up again. So they are semi-distracted when they're driving to be able to run a plate.
Why are they running plates?
That's how they find out if there's somebody who has a suspended driver's license, somebody who has suspended, or somebody who.
Why would they be looking for it at that moment?
What do you mean?
Why would they be looking for it?
Well, anytime they pull behind a car, they'll pick which license plate they want to run.
There wasn't even a car in front of them.
How do you know? They came to a stop. There was somebody in front of them. They hit traffic. Like towards the end there, the car slowed down. And I was like, why are they slowing down? They're stopping because there's cars in front of them. It can be somebody that just passed on to the left. It can be somebody that's on the right.
Didn't see it.
At the end, they stopped.
They didn't stop. The video stopped.
Oh, I thought the car was stopping because the red lights were on.
So that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, but you're talking about when is that, November?
Yeah, it's November.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
Doesn't really
I
matter
guess I don't
when.
ton of advice in this situation. I mean, the only advice that I have is if you're driving behind somebody and they are not driving safely, I would call the police. And I have before, like if someone's swerving in front of me, I'm like, there's something wrong with this person.
Yeah, but why is it an everyday thing?
Is it
It's
everyday
become
thing?
more.
Everybody. That's not
You're
I
not the
can't
only
call
person
the police
experiencing
on every
But-
driver that I see.
correct.
But
If somebody's dangerously driving, like putting people at risk, that's something the police should know about.
There's a utility truck in this video, and they kind of jutted out when they were passing through the intersection. When you come to see it. Did you see it? Or I wasn't holding it close enough to you.
No. You pointed it?
It's the white utility truck.
And what are they doing wrong?
Just watch and see. Everything is more apparent when you were the driver
For
in the situation.
I'm not noticing anything strange.
What they did was they steered into my direction
The last white truck?
antagonistically. Yes.
I don't see that. But again, I'm looking at it from a 2D perspective versus being in a car 3D. I'm not noticing it. I'm sorry. When you look at a video, are you noticing it?
I notice it, and
I'm not
Yeah.
noticing.
Noticing it. It might be slight enough where I'm just not feeling it on the 2D in a 2D situation versus being out on the road with it.
then that's because of the camera's limitations.
Yeah.
Well, just watching things on video for the first time. This is the first time I'm seeing anything like this.
So I guess
I don't have a ton of advice in this situation, with the exception of in the moment. Like if something is dangerous enough or hazard enough to others on the road, I would let authorities know.
You know, maybe you didn't see it in these clips. It was in there. But what about at an intersection when you have to make a stop? You should be stopping before the white line, because that's what it's there for. Not 2 car spots before the white line.
I'm trying to picture intersection of white lines. Okay. Like, I think we're talking about like the habits of drivers, um, and just kind of like the unknown associated with the habits of drivers, because you've got 16-year-old drivers and you've got 85-year-old drivers. Like, I saw a lady that literally couldn't walk into the eye doctor and she got out of a car. I'm like, she was so old. I'm like, how did you drive here? She couldn't walk to the door. So, but there's such a wide array of drivers out there, and then you've got the young kids who are distracted, and then the moms who've got screaming kids in the back. So everyone's driving patterns are going to be slightly unpredictable. But I think what you're looking for is you're looking for commonalities, and I think the commonality here is people. Like, everyone is just, it's the factors are unknown as to why things are happening.
The commonality of leaving.
The commonality of like,
Yeah, I don't think it's something that happens just with you. It happens every day, all day, across all roads. I have an hour and 15-minute drive to work, so I see everything. I see at least one
An
accident.
hour and 50 minutes.
An hour and 15 minutes. I see at least one car accident a month. At minimum, one car accident a month. Like, I physically witness it.
You live in Waukegan.
No, I don't live in Waukegan. I live out, like, by Carpentersville, Elgin area.
I thought I heard you say Waukegan.
I live in McHenry County. I'm far out by Kane County. So I have an hour and 15-minute drive. And I can take 176 and go through Wakanda. If I go through like the back areas of like Pingree Grove and Hampshire and Huntley, I can come through Wakanda on 176, which I try to avoid because the one-way roads like makes me crazy because I got stuck behind a garbage truck once. But if I take 90, then that's just like, that's where I see all the accidents, is on 90 and 53 and 294. Or I can go through Lake Zurich, which is like the nice peaceful way to go. But it's one-way roads, it's one-lane roads also on 22, so it's like I see
That wasn't peaceful.
that to me is peaceful.
Towards the east side of the Missouri.
That to me is the peaceful drive. Compared to what I see on 90, it's bad.
But the thing is, I'm not going on a large highway.
mm-hmm.
This is on typical roads.
Yeah, and that's, for me, and I'm just being completely honest with you, because I always am, that for me is typical driving of what I'm used to seeing every day. Again, I spend almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours a day in the car. That's what I'm used to seeing. And I may be guilty of some like behaviors as well, of like swerving if I'm looking for something and I catch myself, or if I'm on an unfamiliar road. And that's another reason I don't like 176, is because the way that it veers off to the right, and then you've got the school there, and then if you get stuck behind a construction vehicle or a semi-truck, then you're just stuck. At least like in Lake Zurich, you can, like, there's the one little area where you can turn to the right around the hospital, and so it's just, yeah, like,
I never saw anything like this before 20, like,
See it
2 years ago.
I see it every day. I used to drive to Glenview every day, so I see it all.
I've had cars in the past in other areas. It wasn't frequent, but it happened where the oncoming car, they would like slowly veer into my lane.
Do
As
you
I
feel
was
like it's just
going
happening to you?
Is that your concern? Like, is that why you're watching the videos? Because you feel like it's happening only to you? Or specifically to you?
I'm saying that's why, when I seen that happen, that's why I wanted to purchase a dash cam.
It's smart to have that. It really is. It's a really good idea to have that. But I don't think it's happening just to you. I think it's happening all over the place. And the more time you spend on the road, because the more time you spend on the road, the more of it you see.
It feels like theater, though.
What do you mean?
It looks contrived.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that? Why does it feel that way?
given the amount of footage that I've seen, it looks purposely done.
So we've had conversations surrounding these.
So, do you see, this is something that I've seen many times, where a car next to me, they don't pull up to the white line.
Yeah, but I don't either. Depends on if I need to stop right away and make a phone call, or if I need to send a text, or if I check my phone, I'll only do it at red lights, and sometimes I'll stop a little early. Or if I'm trying to figure out where I am.
Yeah, but I've looked, and the people in those cars, they aren't doing anything like that.
So here's what it comes down to.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So here's what it comes down to, because you and I have had these conversations before, where sometimes you feel like things are focused on your energy, and sometimes things are focused on you that might not necessarily be. Just like when we talked about the behaviors of some of the associates. I think this may be one of those situations.
Oh yeah, and you're saying that she was pointing her phone at me.
Okay, so I think this is one of those situations where you're feeling like
It's not a feeling anymore.
this, honestly, I think you're analyzing it to the extent where it feels personal, because anything that you dissect enough will begin to feel personal.
And
I'm
we've
not
Had
trying,
these conversations before.
I'm not trying to dissect anything.
But if you're going back to data back from September of 2020, you're analyzing. And sometimes over-analysis will get you the result that you're looking for. And that seems to be what's happening. You're over-analyzing until what you're looking for becomes true. And it's called confirmation bias. You're confirming what you believe.
Right, but I don't go around looking for people try to target me. I'm just seeing it happen,
Yeah.
and
So it's called, and it's interesting because I'm working on this thing for ThreadUp University, and it's called unconscious bias. And unconscious bias is when your mind believes something, and you're gonna do whatever you can to prove that you're right. So there's a video that we play for the team, and it's about I'm gonna give you a set of numbers, and I want you to tell me what the next numbers are gonna be. Okay, so I'm gonna play this game with you right now. 1, 3, 5. What should the next numbers be?
7, 9, 11.
So that plays into the rule. Okay, so now I'm going to give you another set of numbers. 11, 15, 17.
Twenty, 21, 25, 27.
Okay, that plays into the rule. So what's the rule?
The rule,
That I'm following.
it's just a pattern.
What's the pattern? So let's say if it's 2, 4, 6. What's the next numbers?
8, 10, 12.
What if I say 4, 6, 8? What's the next number?
This is just even numbers.
Okay, so that's what you feel like the rule is. But that's not the rule.
Then what is the rule?
Quick question. I'm going to give you another set of numbers. So I'm playing the video. I've watched this video so many times because I'm clipping it for training. So I'm going to give you another set of numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers 30, 32, 34. What should be the next two numbers?
40.
that plays into the rule as well.
So what you're doing is you're believing that it's every two numbers. So you're going to keep going in that pattern.
Right?
I didn't say 36.
Or you didn't. You said 34. I noticed that too.
I said 38.
38.
Yeah.
Okay. So what pattern are you following?
I wasn't following a pattern at that moment.
Okay. What were you doing?
I was applying a new meaning to whatever the sequence is supposed to be.
Supposed to be. So what if I say there's no sequence at all?
That's possible because you're playing a game.
Yeah. So all I was doing is using numbers in ascending order. So there's no sequence. So this person, I think he's like a magician or something, goes around from state to state and does this game with people on the streets. And every one of them believes in a certain rule. So they keep giving examples of that certain rule, like 2, 4, 6, or 8, 16, 32. And what's up? What do you need?
I was just getting warm.
It's really.
What's the temperature at now?
77 degrees.
What was it at before?
It was only 78.
Okay, so it's going down slowly. We can turn the air on if it gets super hot. So what ends up happening is called an unconscious bias confirmation
Do you mind if I
bias.
turn?
No, go ahead. Go ahead and just hit cool. So hit system until it goes to cool. Okay, and then in a couple minutes it'll go down really fast. And then the MC will get really cold to turn off. So what this unconscious confirmation bias is in your mind you believe something. So you're gonna find proof to confirm this bias of yours because you're feeling like there's a certain rule associated with it. So I think when you're going back to these videos back in September or back in November, you're looking for something very specific. And you're looking for whether it's cars weaving in and out or whether it's cars stopping early. And you're gonna find those things because that's what you're looking for. But if you come at it from my perspective of just looking at the video, I didn't see anything because I wasn't looking for something. Does that make sense?
Right.
So I think that's what's happening. So you're feeling,
But I'm looking at these.
Uh-huh.
It's because I've never seen it before.
I'm not
Until
seeing
I.
it at all because I wasn't looking for it. I didn't notice any of the things that you noticed at first. When you came back and told me what I was looking for, I would see it. In some cases, like the utility truck, I didn't see at all.
And then that's the issue with the camera. You would have to be in my.
But what would cause you to
Go back and look at it now.
versus looking at it back in September or back in November?
I just wanted your opinion.
Yeah, I think.
My opinion is I think that you're looking for something and you're finding it. That's my personal opinion.
The thing is, with that cop car weaving into the opposite lane with the other oncoming truck, that could have been a collision, and I could have been in that.
It could
The
have
cars
But
could
you
have.
keeping the distance, which is the right thing to do because in case of an accident you can stop.
But you never know.
So it's defensive driving mechanisms, and that's what they teach you, right? Like you have to make sure you're keeping the distance and that you're going slow enough so that you can be able to stop or be able to get out of the situation.
And I've come to show these clips to you
Uh-huh.
so you can see that what I'm seeing is I'm seeing more dangerous driving, and I think it could impact me at one point pretty soon.
That's scary. That's really scary to think. Yeah, I think my only suggestion is to continue being a defensive driver. Like, wear your seatbelt, of course, but keep your distance. Like, that's the one thing that I do because I've been in so many accidents is I keep my distance. I don't.
Tail anybody.
Huh?
Been into
That's recent. Like, I've been in a lot of accidents from the age of 16 and on. A lot. Because I was not a good driver when I was younger. I almost lost my license when I was 16 because I was a really bad driver. And I had a really fast car, which was not a good idea for a kid. But as a kid, sometimes you learn your lessons the hard way, and I did. But as a result of being a grown up and now having a child that is more important than anything, I keep my distance. I don't tail anybody. I make sure there's always 2 cars of room ahead of me because if someone's going to collide, I'm going to be able to stop in time. And I tell you, I see at least an accident a month, and I'm able to, knock on wood, come out of them safely.
I've never seen an accident in my life.
Knock on wood. You don't want to. It's a sign you never forget.
Actually, the only accident that I witnessed was within a week of me purchasing the dash camera.
Really?
The footage was written over, but it was a minor collision. just a little bit of damage to the passenger door,
Okay.
and they pulled over into the strip mall by the Secretary of State's office.
Yeah. And Maria saw one
Other
yesterday.
than that, I've
Knock on wood. Maria saw one yesterday on her way to work. It's often and frequent. It really is. Especially if you live near these 4-lane roads or if you take highways. Which, again, the longer you drive.
I've never seen a major collision. I've just seen
Very lucky.
You'll never forget.
Sound. You never forget the sound. And you never forget the look of it. You just consider yourself lucky. I've seen some that I know people did not survive it. So consider yourself very lucky.
I agree.
Like I've seen them happen and I know for a fact that people died in that one.
I got hit in a parking lot 2 weeks after I got my brand new car.
Oh.
You remember that? And it was an old man. And he didn't purposely do it to me, but he was an old man and it was in a situation that I could control. And then I thought about it and I said, you know, this really sucks because it's a brand new car. But it was really nothing that I could have done. So there's just some things that you can't control on the road. There's yourself and your car that you can control, and you can make sure that you are safe by doing what Mercedes says, by, you know, staying 2 cars away from another car, or just being aware of your surroundings. But there's not really something that you can do to control other people's drivings. Like what you say about stopping in the white line, I'm guilty of sometimes I'm going way too fast and then I get a red light and then I just have to stop right away and I don't make it. I make it past the white line because there's just no way that I could stop by the white line.
I've been seeing that too,
Yeah, so sometimes.
but it's been
Sometimes we're just going too fast. Sometimes we have a lot going on. Sometimes you have a lot on your mind. Sometimes you have a screaming toddler and you're reaching over to give them a bottle. Like there's just so much going on in people's lives.
I
You
don't
can't
think,
really control.
Control.
I know, but I don't think that people. I don't think what I've seen is typical of what I've seen. Way better driving throughout my life.
I wish I would have. I wish I could say the same.
And I've seen way worse. I think it's just opposite sides of the spectrum. That's why I'm so immune to it. I'm a lot older too. So I've seen a lot more, but I'm more immune to the driving, I think, than anything else. But if you're looking for it, you're gonna see it. So like on my way home today, I'm gonna be very conscious. After watching those videos, I'm gonna be very conscious. I'm gonna be looking at my surroundings more alertly. But usually I'm listening to an audiobook and I'm in my own world. Like my home time, if I'm not on phone calls and meetings on my drive home, that's my alone. I'm listening to my audiobooks. Or I've got my music blaring
Do
loudly.
you do that in your car?
Yeah, I do audiobooks. I'm usually in meetings on my way home. On my way into work, I'm on calls getting ready for the day to begin. On my way home is really when I just want to be by myself. My music is either really, really like deafeningly loud, or I'm listening to my audiobooks and I don't answer my phone. Because I need to decompress from my day.
Okay.
I'm like the crazy woman driver that's got like the music super, super loud. It's the only way I can like shut it off.
Yeah, me too.
Or I'm FaceTiming with my son. And he's showing me his video games.
I can't show you it. You would need more context to understand what I'm trying to convey in this footage,
Okay.
because it's on the way to getting a massage,
Sorry.
and
Oh my. Okay. Okay. I got like 4 minutes. Okay, so you're on your way to get a massage.
I was being attacked
I
or harassed by other drivers,
Like how?
just like with they were doing. They were
Let's see.
stopping at odd times and they were using noise to scare me.
Okay, let me see.
There's a part where someone revs their engine very loudly.
What kind of car do you drive? Okay. Is it a newer car? So I'm wondering if someone's trying to race you.
And you're gonna hear me stop the music in a second because I'm getting freaked out. You may or may not hear it. I'm half focused on the song.
So that's
And so,
Music.
playing, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Did you hear that? The revving?
Yeah.
The screech? That's not part of the song. And
Okay.
I was already freaked out. And then that just amped up my anxiety.
We drive through a lot of construction. The car that was going the opposite way?
Yeah, I was having on the verge of a panic attack.
But that car was traveling the opposite way
Mhm.
really fast. So why do you think that would have, how do you think that would be like specific to you? Because that car was traveling at a very high rate of speed going the opposite way. How in the big picture of things could that be associated?
It was.
What?
You saw me roll the window down. Or you heard that.
I wouldn't.
I rolled the window down
Okay.
and I was trying to deep breathe.
Okay.
And then that car.
Came from the opposite direction
Direction.
at a very high rate of speed through construction. But that's not something that
And there was
control.
and there was that screech before
That's just
at the one break in the song.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the universe playing tricks on you. I think it's just you spend enough time on the road and you're gonna start noticing and hearing different things and seeing different things. Again, personally,
The activity was amplified on that day.
I think on that day, if you're experiencing anxiety, then you're gonna feel like it was amplified.
I wasn't experiencing any anxiety before I got on the road. It was what people were doing. It made me feel like I was in danger.
Anytime you're behind the wheel of a car, you're in danger because your life is in other people's hands. Because you're depending literally on the person next to you paying attention to the road, and you're depending on people coming the opposite way to be paying attention to the road. And anytime you ride your bicycle on the street, you're putting your life in other people's hands, but they're not going to be distracted when they're driving. So it's a universal factor. Like it's scary, but we just have to have the trust in humankind to be careful when they're on the road. And that's why we have the school signs, and that's why we have the speed bumps. And it's just like I was telling my son this morning, when the school sign comes out, the bus arm comes out, I go, but if there's a car coming, I don't want you stepping out because I don't want you to think that car is going to automatically stop when it needs to. He's like, but the bus driver tells us we have to go. I said, nope. I need you to stop and make sure that car stops first before you cross the road. Because I'm not going to trust that somebody else is going to pay attention to that bus stop sign
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just
in life in general. And that's what's happening every time you're on the road. But I think you're working through this unconscious bias situation. And
What did you call
it's
the
called unconscious
program?
bias.
It's called, so it's Thread Up University is something that I run here, and we create training programs for our leaders. So the one that I'm working on right now is called Unconscious Bias.
When did you begin working on this?
3 years ago when I first started with the company. So we've done classes on, one's called Move Your Bus. Like all those books that I have up here, those are coming out of the classes that I teach. And it's for our supervisors, our GMs, our ops managers, and then occasionally our leads as well. But like the one that I'm working on with unconscious bias is for interview training, because we can't go into an interview with preconceived notions looking to prove what our theory is. We need to go in with an open mind and let the applicant lead us to where we're going. So that's where this unconscious bias part of it comes into play. But it reminded me of all that because there's so many different types of biases. There's affirmation bias, there's beauty bias, there's confirmation bias.
Don't have like a narrative going on when I'm going onto the road, or if I'm experiencing something out here. I'm just thinking about the future and what I want to do, but I'm catching this
But I
kind
don't
of
think you're gonna
activity.
stop.
Catching that ever. That's going to be a norm. That's
That was out of the norm.
not, to me, it's not. To me, that's completely normal what I would see every single day when I'm driving.
Maybe we have to find out. Or you would need more context. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think so. I think what I'm watching, I think there were some particularly dangerous like turns and all of that. But again, from my many years of experience, that to me is what you would see on a normal driving day. Whether it's for a mile or for an hour, those are all very typical driving behaviors of others.
Well,
Probably not the answer that you were
tell you
looking for.
everything.
Well,
I
About what
can't,
happened
unfortunately,
with
because I'm gonna have to.
they're waiting for me.
But I wanted to ask, back on the 28th in September, why did Audrey say we have to get to his apartment now? I was the last one leaving the break room after I used the restroom. And then Audrey, she was with you, Ellen, Miles, and someone else. And you guys were watching me as I was leaving the break room.
What was this? September of 2020?
Yes, on the 28th, first day of
Listen,
the new shift.
we've talked about this before. If something raises a flag for you, you cannot wait 6 months before you ask me about it. I literally can't tell you what I ate for breakfast this morning. So you cannot wait 6 months before asking me a question. If you would have asked me that day, I'd probably have the answer for you as to why I was even looking in your direction. But 6 months later,
It wasn't you, it was Audrey.
any of
who
us.
said that.
6 months later, Audrey doesn't work here at this anymore, but 6 months later, I can't answer that question for you. But we've talked about that. Like, you can't come to anybody asking for something longer than a week to 2 weeks. Because our brains just don't work that way. Like, there's too much information in them for us to be able to recall anything that happened that long ago. Like, I've got a week to 2 weeks max in my memory bank. Unless it's an event that I need to be conscious of. But if it's a daily interaction, I won't be able to answer that for you. But that's something I want you to keep in mind moving forward to your next job. Is I want you, if you have a concern or a question with your supervisor or even your future leader, or if
You are your
Might not
future
have.
leader.
maybe a more independent job. Have you thought about that?
That's not what I'm looking for.
What are you looking for? What's your goal for your next job?
I'm not going to say what they are because
But just know, like, my email is still on. So if you ever need support, if you need a reference letter or anything like that, feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to write you a letter of reference or provide you any information, whatever you need.
And then Ellen, back in on the day before the warrant was announced,
Mhm.
as I was leaving the break room, then she said, "Seriously, no one likes you."
I've worked with Ellen for 15 years now, 14 years. And I, with 100% confidence, and I would literally bet my right hand on it that Ellen did not say that to you. It's something that you overheard or something that you were looking to hear.
But I would
With 100% certainty, not even 99, with 100% certainty, can tell you that that would never come out of Ellen's mouth. Because she is a professional. It's like me saying something like that. You will be 100% certain that I would never say that, and neither would Ellen. And I would literally bet my arm on it that she would never say that. So now, and again, you're talking about 2 months ago, so I'm not even gonna ask, but I'm telling you with 100% certainty that didn't happen.
So what
And so
bias is that?
So now I'm done with the conversation because that's just frustrating now. That you're gonna say that one of our leaders would say something like that to you. So now I'm just frustrated.
The
general.
leaders
I'm
are
frustrated now.
frustrating.
That's frustrating. For you to have that in your mind, that a leader of that caliber would say seriously, nobody likes you, is so beyond a conversation I'm even willing to have at this moment. And it's, now I'm just frustrated. Now I'm frustrated. So I want you to know when you start to question the integrity of a leader, that's when you have to take a step back and wonder, why am I thinking that? Why do I feel like I just heard that? And you need to either stop and turn around and say, hey, what just happened or what did you say? So you can get clarification for yourself. Or, I don't know what else, but.
I didn't think out what. I didn't internalize what you said, but I just.
If somebody says that in my presence about me or about anybody around me, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm stopping and saying, what was that? What did you say? Especially if I heard my name.
I bet
If I said that, if I questioned Ellen,
Mhm.
what do you think would have happened?
You would have gotten an answer as to what you heard. And I can guarantee you 100% that it wasn't, nobody likes you.
But it was.
People have better things to do. The world doesn't revolve around. We've talked about this. When you're feeling like all this attention is focused on you or people.
They're pointing at
There's
you.
been attention focused on me.
Okay.
Well, at this point,
Montreal, the first thing that he said to me on the first time that I saw him on AM shift, he asked me, "Are you woke?"
are you woke?
Woke.
Woke? Like WOKE?
Yes, as in
Aware. Woke means aware.
politically, socially aware.
Politically aware or just aware?
Just,
Like
you know,
awake?
like, are you woke? It's just a slang term.
Like,
saying,
are you awake? Are you
gotta
paying attention?
be woke, as in you have to be aware of, everything that's going on in the world or around you, or it's just a slang term
Okay.
for saying aware.
Okay.
That's all it is.
So why is that unusual?
It's not.
People,
So it's a common term. I just
It
haven't heard
is.
it. Okay.
Who said this to you?
Don Trail,
Don Trell?
Oh,
Yeah, he would say that all the time. He said that to me.
he did.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be woke, as in you gotta be aware. It's not offensive.
He was speaking politically, though.
I don't believe that he was. That word really isn't used to speak politically. I mean, if you're gonna speak politically, you're gonna be more proper. That word is not proper. That word is
There's an undertone of
Okay, we're veering off of subject.
politics.
We're veering off of subject.
so
People here, they like to consider me as a racist.
That's not true. I would have heard about that, and you wouldn't be here anymore. If I thought you were racist, you would have been termed already. You wouldn't even have a second chance to defend yourself. So that's not how the world works. If there was ever an allegation that you behaved in a manner disrespectful to somebody culturally, you would not be here today.
Outside of, what about outside of threat?
I don't care what happens outside of work, as long as when you,
Because
In
they've
the
written
building.
in paper
As long as
before
you're
regarding
in the
using
building.
derogatory words.
if you are in the building and you're treating the people here with respect,
What I've done.
then you will continue remaining employed here. But if any of that ever bleeds into work is where I draw the line,
And it did.
not that I'm aware of.
So again, this
Well, I've
is
told you about how Pam, Pam heard Dontrell say, was I gonna say the N-word? Remember
I've
that?
told you about this before.
Yes.
Okay, so we're ending this conversation now.
But I'm just saying that people, they've brought outside issues into here. Too many instances. For your time.
One second.
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you give me a call back in like 1 minute? Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, so I'm running like I'm pushing my luck on timing right now. Okay, so I think as you're looking for future employment, I think you really need to start looking for independent roles. One where you're not going to necessarily be frustrated with your peers or frustrated with those working around you.
I'm not even frustrated with them. Just the provocations.
I think more things provoke you than
People,
it's.
I think you think
A lot of people are focusing their energy and harnessing their time on you, and that's not the case because people don't have time for that. They don't have the energy. They have a lot of things happening in their own lives, and it's really like it's way bigger to them than it is.
Right, remember I've been accused of things in my past.
In your past, not here though. Like anything that ever happened here, you and I talked through it, right? That's why you're still here, and that's why you're part of our closing team, and we're celebrating goodbye with you. But today's your last day. Like it's
literally your last
30 minutes.
Like the status quo is to pick me.
It's not. You think it is, but it's not. And I've got to take this call. It's not. It's not. It's not about. I just want you to think about that. It's not. And when you get into the mindset that it is, I want you to think it's not always about.
That's not what I've seen, but okay.
But in the future, as you begin looking for employment, or if you need help with resume, or if you apply for unemployment and you have any trouble, just send me an email. Okay?
What's the deadline
For
sign up for unemployment?
there's no deadline.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can choose to do it on Saturday, or you can wait 6 months if you want to. But there's a stimulus package associated with it right now, so I would encourage you to do it sooner rather than later. And but a long time ago there was a stigma associated with unemployment. That's not the case anymore because there's a lot of people on unemployment. It's the highest it's ever been because of COVID. So think about all the restaurant waiters and waitresses and companies that have closed as a result of COVID. So there's no negative connotation with unemployment anymore. It's just not. It's too. I think people need it right now.
Did you ever get a knot behind the center of your forehead?
A knot?
Do you ever feel like a painless knot on your forehead
I don't know what a knot is.
after being struck?
Like a. Yes, that was going like this. But Botox helps with that.
It feels like there's a slight weight
Is like a
on my
sinus
forehead.
line?
Could be your sinuses. I get that a lot every day.
I've only began to feel this since October.
Okay. Have you talked to your doctor?
Yeah, they just said that it's a headache, but there's no pain involved.
If you feel pressure, it's your sinuses. And if you just massage your head, it'll go away. If you just massage your head like that, just with your thumbs down, it'll go away. But it's your sinuses. If you feel pressure here, that's what it is.
Do you have any pets?
It's
Your
not,
dog.
it has nothing to,
Your
I
dog or a cat.
wasn't feeling sinus pressure though. I'm not feeling sinus pressure at the moment.
I have no idea what that could be.
You have a dog or a cat? Do you have any pets?
In the house,
Like a fluffy pet.
there are 2 cats, but I don't let them in my room
I would
at
admit
night.
it.
You need a pet. Like a fluffy pet.
I
It's
can't,
so
no.
relaxing.
Just to help you relax and de-stress. A non-shedding dog, a
poodle.
rabbit, a poodle, a chihuahua.
A
This is all-
rabbit.
This is all
This is
the
all.
advice.
I don't,
All you can do to help me.
no. The advice that I have for you is I need you to take a step back and realize it's not always about you. That's my, if you could take anything away from me in all the years that we've spent together, I want you to take that. Is when you get stuck in yourself, when you get stuck in your own head and wondering like, is it a conspiracy? Is it out for me? I want you to take a step back and say, is it really about me? Because people have a lot going on in their lives and they don't have time to think about. They just don't. That's what I want you to take away from me. And if it seems
You're lying though.
I'm lying, people have lives outside of.
You're lying that the things that are happening, the provocations, that they're not about me.
What I'm saying,
It's
You're
the-
gaslighting me, essentially,
what does that mean?
to make someone doubt their own perceptions.
Gaslighting?
Yes,
I've never heard that term before. What I'm saying,
that's what manipulative people do.
are you calling me a manipulative person?
I'm just saying that you're gaslighting.
No, I'm not. I'm done with conversation. Okay. You have 20 minutes. Do you have anything left on the fly? The majority of the team is actually gone right now.
You're gone.
Yeah, everybody left early. So when you were back out there, now people are not gonna be there.
No one told me that. They leave early.
No, they didn't tell you. They asked to leave early.
Well, I'm actually really.
So you'll know what says after you have people on the floor. Okay. Good luck. Email me if you need something.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point I'm in the
So I shouldn't email you
Oh, yeah.
because Cindy's gonna be in your position.
She's gonna be taking over, but she's going to Georgia.
Okay.
So I'll be still in Illinois.
Okay. Until
I'm
2021
Well,
or 2022. Whenever the new DC opens.
I may go, I may not go, I may go to a different DC. I don't really know. It just depends on my husband.
Okay.
Okay? Good luck.